So, Thor: Love and Thunder is a movie that came out. You might have heard of it. And spoiler review, yay! Um, I'll just be honest with you guys. I don't really give a shit about doing non-spoiler reviews for Marvel movies because I don't really see the point, right? Why do people need these reviews that are like sitting here going, so hey, if you like Marvel, this movie will be fun and you'll enjoy it. Go watch it. No, everybody's gonna go watch these movies. I get theoretically not everybody will have seen the movie and they kind of want to know what the general opinions are, good or bad, whatever. But I feel like there's too much not stupid, worthless reviews about Marvel movies. So I feel like just cutting the fat and just making a spoiler review is more interesting, I guess, for me personally. Um, and yeah, that's just kind of my little thing there. Going into this movie, I kind of didn't know what to expect, right? Because I hated the first two Thor movies. I think they're awful. With some fun moments because Chris Hemsworth's a fun actor and Tom Hiddleston's a fun actor as well. But other than that, they're dog shit. Um, and you know, um, Ragnarok when that came out, didn't really expect anything. I didn't expect it to be good, but then everybody started saying it was good and it's really funny and all this stuff. I actually didn't even watch it opening weekend. I watched it the week after, and I was just like, eh? Like, I don't really care about that. It just didn't, wasn't that funny. And people really overhyped that one. And like, it's weird because I love Taika Waititi and his style and everything, and that failed. So when I got to this movie, I just kind of was like, I mean, Christian Bale's a villain. That's like he's a good actor. Didn't expect him to be a Marvel. Kind of a weird choice. You got Natalie Portman coming back. I don't know what to feel about that. I mean, you got a lot of things in this movie I didn't know what to feel about. So I just kind of didn't really go in with any expectations. I kind of just was like, all right, and I enjoyed the movie, but this is a movie that I feel like doesn't really do a good job of making Thor a character. I think Thor literally says in this movie that Jane helped him see like understand that he needs to protect people, right? And be a protector. But then he just kind of causes a lot of destruction in this movie, like the opening scene. He damages these religious people's temple, which is fine cuz religion sucks. No, I'm kidding, but um he like damages their temple and they're clearly upset about, but he's not that remorseful about it. I mean, there's a bit about him being a little remorseful about it, but like he's not that remorseful about it. It's just dumb. Like, why are we doing this? And then we get to more scenes like that, and I'm just sitting here like, what are we doing? You know, like what are we doing here? Because this is just not what Thor is. And it's interesting because by the end of this movie, Thor's a dad. And I laugh at that because I'm sitting here like, so you got this dude who causes a lot of destruction, is irresponsible. I mean, there's a scene where he literally flies through the roof of the ceiling, leaving a hole in it. And falls and then comes back crashing. This is how irresponsible and reckless this dude is, and he's a dad now. Like it just doesn't make any sense, and I think maybe they can make it work in another Marvel movie or something, but like it just I don't like this plot point of Thor being a dad. And it's also weird because you got Christian Bale was really good in this movie, very creepy, but he like is a great villain. But it's weird because his threat is interesting, and his threat actually is a huge threat. But most of his threat doesn't feel that big of a threat because he's kidnapping children, like just kids, and he's not really doing anything to those kids. He just has them as bait for the other guys so they can get there, and he can just call on. Um, he could just make a wish that all gods will die, even though that's not what he does. He wishes for his daughter to come back. So it's like, I don't know. The threat of this movie is weird because I feel it, but at the same time I don't. And also that's another thing. I really don't like that this movie focused so much on children. Like, why do we need a Heimdall's son? This dude who we've only seen in a few Marvel movies in a pretty significant role. Don't get me wrong, but like he doesn't do anything revolving him having a son or a wife or anything like this. And now his son's here, and it's just like, what are we doing? As guardian children, I'm like, okay. I did really enjoy the Mount Olympus stuff with Seuss. That was very funny. When Russell Crowe's Seuss like grabs his skirt and goes down the stairs, that cracked me up. Stuff like that was fun. But I'm just sitting here like, what is the point of this? What is the point of these types of things? You know, I don't know. I really enjoyed Jane Foster in this movie, Natalie Portman. They really made you care about Thor's relationship, which I didn't before, and that was really cool. Just surprised that she actually died in this movie because I don't know how the comic works, but I thought there was a way out of it, but I guess not, and she died. And I thought that was a really bold creative risk, but then we also get a post-credit scene saying welcome to Valhalla or whatever. So if she's dead, right? If she's dead, then she must be. I don't know. She's in Valhalla. Maybe they're like hinting at her coming back. Because why would be the point of showing that? I don't know. But it's also like Marvel. It does not leave enough characters dead at this point. Every character who's died has come back in some weird way. Like, oh yeah, Heimdall's not alive, but his son is. I just don't. I don't get it. It's just weird. I really don't understand. I don't understand Christian Bale's emotions. Like he literally understands that he's dying, and yet he wishes for uh him to have his daughter to be alive, which is really funny because like Natalie Portman Thor, like she won't be alone if you die, and it's like, well, he doesn't know Thor. How does he know he's gonna be a responsible parent for your child? There's little things in this movie that are just really weird because when you're watching the movie, you're like, this is fun, this is enjoyable. There's some laughs, you have fun with it, and there's some emotional beats that really work. But then there's just all these little things that you're watching, going, huh? What? And it's not something that appears to you in the moment as watching the movie. It comes to you later, and you're like, what? And I really don't know. It's weird that Taika Waititi is this amazing director who's made all these great movies, and yet he's making Thor movies which are his weakest movies, and they're not the best movies. It's really confusing because, right, Doctor Strange is yeah, it's not as good as other Sam Raimi movies, but I would say it's pretty good and it's in line with his other work. This is not. It has similar style, but not the same, and it's just weird. And I don't know. I'm just burnt on Thor. I really don't. I never liked Thor in any of the Marvel movies besides Infinity War. But other than that, like, what's the point of this character? Because like he changes so much, but not changes for like in a consistent way. Like I know part of the story was Chris Hemsworth got bored, so they had to reinvent the character, and they did that, and that's cool. But it makes it so like his story is not cohesive or interesting. It's all over the place. It's like one minute he's a he's a space pirate. Next minute he's not, and it's just I don't know. I'm confused.